One of the things that people ask me the most, especially on coaching calls, but more than anything, they send me emails and they send me DMs, is they're looking for me to give them a special sauce or a shortcut or a highlight as to how it is that they can do things differently in order to level up with regard to their business, content creation, um, or in corporate America, right? And there's nothing wrong with you looking for the sauce. I'm very much expecting for you to ask that question and to have and get insight and information on that. But I want you to understand that regardless of how much information that I give you, none of it will matter unless you actually do the work. And let me set the expectation for you on that. Doing the work is incredibly hard. It's incredibly hard to become successful. No matter how you cut it, no matter what podcast is out here telling you that it's easy, no matter who it is that's selling you on an idea that you're going to be living on the beach while you're just making money in your sleep and you're just going to have passive income coming in and all of this other type of stuff. For 99.9% of the population, that's not our fate. The determining factor for whether or not we're going to be great or in the top of our field or we're going to make a lot of money or we're going to live this fast lifestyle is largely going to come based off of how it is that you really put the effort in. And so let me give you an example, right? Thursday nights, right? I'll use that as an example. And clearly on Thursday nights, as indicated or shown last night, just with the first show that I did on Thursday night, is head and shoulders above the competition. Flat out. No matter how you spin it, no matter how you put it, there was nobody that put on a better show than we did last night on Thursday nights. It's just a fact. By every available, measurable, visual metric that you can use, it just is what it is. Production quality, subjects and content, quality of the people that's actually having a conversation, numbers, the whole 9 yards, right? We absolutely killed it. We crushed it. We knocked it out of the park. Even if you want to talk about thumbnails, like all the way down to the little nitty gritty details, we killing it. And I have somewhere where I'm going with this, right? When I look at a lot of these content creators and I look at what's going on YouTube, you can even look at some people and they could have a decent amount of subscribers or they was hot at one time, but they fell off, right? They can't get 100 views. When I see people that want to start YouTube channels, right? And I'm going to be reading super chats throughout the show, so thank you to everybody that's donating. When I see people that want to start YouTube channels and stuff like that, and they want immediate success, for some reason, they think that their idea is just going to take off. And so what they do is they may jump on a panel or they may say something cool or witty and they think that they can have a show, and then they go off and they try to do content on their own and they find out that they're not as good as they thought that they were. Not only are you not as good as you thought that you were, but also you can't keep up, you can't compete, you don't have the wherewithal, you don't know how to carry a show by yourself, you can't even talk without saying they, or like every other sentence, right? And so it's much more difficult and harder than you thought that it was. And so very few people are able to even put together a decent amount of content that can even keep people's attention, because you're really competing for people's eyes and attention, whether you're adding value, whether you're entertaining, the whole 9 yards, right? And so even if somebody get hot or they catch a wave or somebody give them a stamp of approval and whatever, they can't keep that wave. They don't even know how to maintain themselves. Listen, you can get hot today and be dead in the water tomorrow, and nobody care or nobody is checking for you. There's plenty of them out there. There's plenty of channels out there that ain't nobody checking for, that got a decent following. Some don't have a following. Some people did YouTube for 6 months and then they gave it up. It's incredibly hard because now not only are you competing with people like me that don't sleep, you also competing with former athletes, people that's broke that used to be on an NFL team or an NBA team and now they trying to start a podcast. People that was on ESPN and Fox Sports, now they trying to break out on their own to create their own brand. You compete with Instagram models. You're competing with the world in order to be at the top of the heap. And so when people tell you that content creation is easy, I dare you. I dare you to try it and see how much you can compete. Some people even get a little bit of a wave. They get monetized. They get their little 1,000 subscribers, 1,500 subscribers, 2,000 subscribers. It was way harder back when I first started. But now they get their little wave and then they plateau and they hit a ceiling. They don't know what the fuck to do. Because just having a bunch of panels where a bunch of people can come up, which we pioneered that, right? It ain't causing for the growth. You ain't making the money that you thought that you was gonna make. You made your little $66. You're trying to hit your $100 threshold so you can get your payout, and then eventually you give up. And it's the same thing with every other thing in life, right? Whether you high up in corporate America, it's the higher up you go, the smaller the amount of jobs that's available. So you have to learn how to brand yourself differently, right? When you're talking about you used to be a college athlete, you might have even been a D1 athlete, right? But you're never going to make it to the NBA because those are the top players in the world. You have to be, listen, as good as Kobe was, as good as Jordan was, what made them exceptional was the fact that they stayed in the gym, right? We watching this play out with Zion right now. He's gifted as an athlete, but he's absolutely fumbling it, fumbling everything. And so not only do you have to be the top of your field, right? Not only do you have to be great, but you got to continue to put in the work. And here's the thing that people really didn't pay attention to when they looking at my YouTube journey. And that's why I leave every single video up. It's something that me and Kevin Samuels discuss regularly. Thank you for the super chat. I'm going to be reading that shortly. It's something that Kevin Samuels and I discuss regularly. My audience grows with me. I've never allowed people to put me into a box, but more importantly, if you pay attention to my journey, I've consistently and constantly take my people with me, and then I show them the growth, the journey, and then the reinvention of myself as I continue to evolve and I learn more and I, become more successful, or I get more insight and information, or my life takes a pivot and a change and I move into this industry, or I open up this type of business. Now I'm in a whole nother lane and I'm in a whole nother space. So when you see, for example, what's happening on Thursday night, you seeing people that's struggling with the idea that nobody wants to check for the same thing that they thought that they liked you for because it's a better product over here on the Anton Daniels channel. You are constantly competing every day and every night. When I say I don't sleep, when I'm on a plane, I'm working. By the time that I'm landing, I'm already uploading stuff because I'm in a Delta Sky Club. When you see me on my phone all the time, right? You have to compete with somebody that does not care about your feelings. And the only thing I care about is winning on every single level, right? I've never been concerned about hoes. You know why? Because hoes are the ones that take the bag from me. I'm never going to give her no money. I'm never going to be in a position where she can finesse me because I'm so busy on building. I've been too busy to get finessed. I've been too busy to fumble the bag. I've been too busy to make sure that you're doing something that can overtake me or whatever. Listen, if you're going to beat me, and I'm using me as an example, but I'm allowing for you to put yourself in these shoes to understand that it's not going to be as easy as you thought it was going to be. It is very, 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 very difficult for you to be successful in any field. And I'm just using content creation or corporate America or starting your business as an example. If you go out and you start a restaurant, for example, right? You think that the other restaurants is rooting for you in the area? They're rooting for you to bring in people so that they can then take your customers. That's what capitalism is. That's what life is. It's a competition. That's why I love this country, because the more that we lean into our roots in conquering and the less that we lean into these social programs and handouts, the more you're going to start to see the difference between the real and the fake. You're going to see the difference between those that could compete and couldn't. What you're witnessing on content creation right now, when I'm illustrating it on a Thursday night show that I just did last night, what you witnessed last night is the difference between the haves and the have-nots, the creators and the bandwagoners. Now I hear people saying stuff like, well, I'm not trying to compete with Anton. I'm trying to be in a whole nother lane, a whole nother space. Oh, good for you. I'm glad that you waving a white flag. I'm glad that you're trying to pivot. I'm glad that you're trying to move in a different direction. But I'm not. I'm not. I don't care what you're doing. I want everything and everybody and all the money and all of the accolades and everything that comes along with it. I want you to be able to get the scraps off the table when I'm done. When I'm done eating and I'm full, that's it. Whatever I don't eat, you can have. But I don't care. I'm coming for everything. You can try to move around me. You can try to walk by me. But for me, it's a one-way street with no sidewalks, all gas, no brakes. And that's the mentality that you got to have when you're a business person, when you're a content creator, when you're a monster, when you're a man. As a man, that is the way that we're supposed to think. That's it. I can respect you, but I want your land. Genghis Khan, Xerxes. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to fend me off. You're just going to have to fight me off. But eventually I'm coming through that door. Or compete and beat me. And if I just lose, then I just lose. But my point is, and my mindset is that you always have to be continuously on the grind and working. If you think that you can't be visible, if you think that you just gonna be able to passively let your stuff run and that's the end of the conversation, good luck. Good luck. Because I'm here, I'm working, I'm grinding, I'm pushing, and I don't care what people say. I don't care how they feel about me. What I'm telling you is that life is about a competition. And there is nobody that's trying to give you anything. Everything you're going to have to get, you're going to have to earn it. Don't have any expectations for what people want from you. The goal is to win at the highest level. And the reason that we had got to the places that we had got to is because I am going to relentlessly push. And you seeing the difference right now. Winners win and losers lose. And then everybody else just float along until the winner come back and take everything that the winner had. That the other person that y'all perceive was the winner. It just is what it is. It's just a competition. It's a dog-eat-dog world. Deal with that shit. Some people get the girl, some people jack off at home. Some people get the car, and then other people have to catch the bus. Some people gonna live in a high rise, and somebody gotta live in the slums. Some people just gonna have to deal with the consequences of whatever it is that somebody else is exerting over them. That's just the way that God made it. It rains on the just and the unjust. It is what it is. Whatever you get in this lifetime, you're gonna have to earn it. You're gonna have to own it. And for me, I deserve everything that I get, good and bad. Good or bad, I deserve everything that I get. And that's the mentality that you got. I don't look at a Stephen A. Smith now starting his own show off of ESPN and saying, oh man, that's good for him. I look at him and saying, okay, I see what he's trying to do. He's trying to pivot into the same spaces that Tucker Carlson is in. He trying to then encroach on what's going on because he don't necessarily see ESPN and what it is that he's doing over there on First Take, because he may stay over there, but he's doing the same thing he paying attention to Shannon Sharp. This is the mindset of people that compete. Give Stephen A. all the credit in the world, because Stephen A. ain't just paying attention to what's going on the networks. Stephen A. is looking at what Roland Martin is doing. He's looking at what Shannon Sharp is doing, and he's making adjustments. Stephen A. is appearing on Cameron and Mace's It Is What It Is show. Now, that should show you that this dude is not living in a silo. He understands the competition, and he's adjusting accordingly. Cameron and Mace is coming for whatever it is that First Take and all of them had. You think that they just sitting on their laurels? You think that they resting? You think that the competition is not paying attention to what Cameron and Mace is doing? I'm paying attention to them. Everybody is paying attention to them. You think that they not looking at, you think that ESPN is not looking at Cameron and Mason saying, oh shit, oh man, we got to make some adjustments. They absolutely are. You think that they not looking at what Shannon Sharp is doing and said, man, we got to figure out what the fuck is going on. You think that Mark Zuckerberg ain't looking at what Apple just dropped with the Vision Pro and he not worried and shaking in his boots with his Quest 3? You think that Apple not paying attention to what Mark Zuckerberg is doing over there? You think that Samsung ain't looking at Sony? You think that Samsung ain't also looking at Apple while they doing business with Apple on their screens and then they starting to get into the chip industry? You think that Nvidia ain't looking at what Samsung is doing as far as them getting into the chip industry? You think that Sony ain't paying attention to what Samsung is doing with their screens? You think that Sony ain't worried about what the Vision Pro is going to do to what it is that they putting together with their screens, with all of the TVs that they sell and the other manufacturers that they do business with? You think that the competition ain't worried about the competition? Y'all so busy looking at us and saying, yo, let them breathe. Why should I let anybody breathe? Ain't nobody letting nobody breathe. Anything you get in this world, you're going to have to go and get that shit. Ain't nobody letting nobody breathe. They play nice. They sing and they shake hands and they sing kumbaya with each other so that they can do business with each other. But every day, they got people on the payroll. Every night, they working and they watching and they trying to figure out where their niche is and how it is that they can take more market share. Do you think that Apple is friends with these people? They literally recruit people from each company that's better at what it is that they do in order to have people in there. You think that Ford ain't paying attention to Tesla while they're also doing an agreement, a handshake agreement to have Ford vehicles be able to use Tesla superchargers? Do you think that Ford don't want to take Tesla's market share in the electric vehicle space? Do you think that Tesla ain't trying to take over what's going over with BMW? Do you think Porsche ain't scared of what Tesla is doing, and that's why they're trying to pivot and have all of their vehicles turn into EVs? You think Lamborghini ain't paying attention to what Rolls-Royce is doing and what Bugatti and the new Chiron and all of this other shit? Man, they are on the move. Ferrari has never built an SUV. Ferrari is building an SUV. I have the same mentality as them. I don't believe in this handshake kumbaya shit that we got going on and staying on code. I don't believe in that, oh, it's space for everybody. I might say that shit on an optics level, but deep down within myself, I'm like, I want everything. I want everything. Life is a competition. Life is a competition. And the minute that you realize that is the minute that you'll break out of your bubble and then you'll either advance or you just gonna get a job working for the winners or get a job working for the people that's actually winning. Because everybody not built for this. Don't ask me to have mercy on nobody. The answer is no. Because nobody has mercy on me. Nobody has mercy on me. Let me tell you how little mercy people have on me. Let me tell you how much of a chess player I am. When I was with them other guys, them other guys was with other guys having conversations about me and feeling comfortable hanging out with other guys that didn't even like me and wanted to take everything that I got. Man, y'all don't know the half of this shit. I've been professional. I keep it professional. I stay on top of my game. I don't let nothing fuck up the bag. But let me tell you something. Other guys was hanging with other guys that didn't even fuck with me and didn't even know that I knew what was going on. But I played it cool for a long time, for years. I play it cool because I ain't tripping off that shit. But don't think that I ain't paying attention. Everything that you see and you say that Anton is the big bad guy, no, Anton is the person that reacts to things. I make adjustments accordingly. And then when I finally put my hammer down like Thor, everybody gonna say that I'm a mean guy. Say what the fuck you want. I am a monster because I don't let anything get in my way. Nothing and no one will stop me from what it is that I'm supposed to have. It was ordained by God. You just temporarily in the way, my niggas. Let's get into the show. Let me read some super chats and then we're going to get it started. This is going to be one of them Fire Fridays. Y'all feel free to be able to come up on the panel when I drop the link in the description later on. Everybody in the friend. I'm used. I have always, let me tell you something, man. From day one, I've always been, to most people, I've always been a tool. Let me just cook for a second. From day one, no matter what I did or how I help people or what I use my platform for or whatever, I ain't never been nothing but a business opportunity for people. And so you expect me to be the bigger person? I am a business opportunity. When people see me sometimes, they ain't fucking with me. They fucking with the opportunity that come along with aligning themselves with me. That's a fact. That's a whole fact. Boy, don't let me get started.